What it do, what it is, YouTube? It's your boy Dynamite here, aka MrBoxDie.com, aka Mr. Holla at your motherfucking boy. So today I'm talking about the Jermell Charlo versus Charles Hatley. It was a fight that went down last night in Brooklyn on the Andre Berto versus Sean Porter undercard. It was for the WBC Junior Middleweight Championship of the World. This fight was a pretty entertaining fight as long as it went on. Jermell Charlo pretty much dominated the fight from start to finish. He displayed some stellar skills in the ring and really showed me some things about himself. You know what I mean? I've been watching Jermell Charlo. I've been watching the Charlo brothers, should I say, for a while now, and they only continue to get better with every fight. And this fight was no different. Jermell Charlo been working with Derek James, I believe that's Errol Spence trainer, and you could see some shades of Errol Spence in his delivery last night. You could see shades of Errol Spence in his game plan, because clearly the game plan was to throw that right hand and get it in there and stick to it no matter what, and just follow that jab with a straight right hand, and it would get through every time based on what was displayed in the ring by Charles Hatley. And let me talk about that for a second before I go back to Jermell Charlo. Charles Hatley, looking at him, I've never really seen this guy fight before. I'm not even gonna lie about it. I've never seen this guy fight before. But watching him for the first time, I immediately picked up on why he was getting hit with those straight right hands and why the fight was immediately going downhill for him. Charles Hatley is a switch hitter, which is something I gathered last night. So a switch hitter basically means you switch between southpaw and orthodox, okay, righty and lefty. All right, and the problem with a lot of switch hitters is that when they're switching back and forth, a lot of times they tend to square up in the ring, making them more vulnerable to those straight right hands. Okay, it's easier to be hit by those straight right hands. Not only that, but they're taking those shots flush. They're taking them square in the face. You ever heard somebody say, "I'll punch you square in the face"? Well, that's where that saying comes from. You square up, you get punched square in the face. Those punches hurt a lot more than, say, a punch that's hit or a punch that you take maybe from the side at an angle or something like that. Those punches right in the face, you take the most damage. All right, so Charles Hatley, it's clear to me because of his switch hitting that he squares up in the ring, and because of that, he's more vulnerable to those straight right hand shots. Those do the most damage to him. And you can clearly see that in the fight, because every straight right hand he took, you could see it was damn near crippling to him. Okay, it was crippling. And a lot of people say he has like an Amir Khan style chin, but really what Charles had, I mean, anybody who gets hit with enough of those straight right hands is going to sleep. Okay, I don't care who it is, I don't care who's throwing them. If you get hit with enough of those back to back to back to back, you're gonna go to sleep. So, that's exactly what happened in this fight. Charles Hatley was just getting hit with those straight right hands. He was squared up. I don't think he was necessarily switching back and forth from righty to lefty, but because he does that, because that's in his nature, his switch hitting style, then he just naturally squares up in his stance. So because of that, he ended up getting hit with those right hands. He got hurt several times during the fight. And Jermell Charlo just showed how sharp he was. He was just remarkably sharp. Jermell Charlo had those eyes that, he had those eyes of just whatever you got, I got to answer for it. Okay, point blank period. Whatever you got, I got to answer for it. And he proved it. Okay, well, no matter what Charles Hatley tried to do, he was completely determined to knock him the fuck out, and he did exactly that. You know what I mean? So all I could do is shout out to Jermell Charlo on retaining his WBC Junior Middleweight Championship of the World. And with this fight out of the way, there's several fights out on the horizon for Jermell Charlo. I mean, several guys at the 154-pound weight division that would love a crack at Jermell Charlo. Although, based on his performance tonight, I'm not sure how many would hold up. I'm just going to keep it real with you. I was very impressed with Jermell Charlo last night. These guys, and just to kind of branch off for a second, the Charlo brothers in general, man, I've been watching them for a good 2, 3 years, 2, 3, 4 years or whatever. And, just watching them, they don't really, starting out watching them, they don't really look like much, in my opinion. You know what I mean? They're good at everything. Don't get me wrong. Their skills are solid, but it just looks like they're just straight up and down, no special effects. But it seems like every fight that goes by, they prove how special they actually are. You know what I mean? They prove that they're more than just the skills. They're the heart. They got the determination. They got the will. And they got the boxing IQ that'll enable them to win fights in tough situations. So, to me, my stock with these guys went up. You know what I mean? Jermell and Jermell Charlo are both stupendously impressive. You know what I mean? And, I see them holding up against anybody at 154 or 160. You know what I mean? At 154, there's guys like Andre, Lara, these guys like that are at 154. 50-50 fights. I mean, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I saw Andrade and Canelo and those guys beating them easily. Now they're 50-50 fights, point blank period. I don't give no one the edge over the Charlos. I am no longer the person that's going to underestimate the Charlos. These guys are the real deal. You know what I mean? So I support them 100%, even at 160. 160, Jermell, I see him beating any and everybody at 160, okay? That includes Triple G. You know what I mean? I think Jermell Charlo has what it takes to beat Triple G. Jermell Charlo has those skills mixed with the power necessary to beat Triple G, and I see him possibly knocking out Triple G. You know what I mean? Triple G has a chin on him, so I wouldn't put my life on it or anything like that, but I could see him outboxing Triple G for 12 rounds. He has the heart, all right? He has the determination, he has the will, he has the boxing skills, and he has the power to be able to do it. You know what I mean? So, Triple G, man, if you want to stay the man at 160, you're going to have to fight some of these guys, man, because they coming your way, point blank period. You know what I mean? You either move up or vacate the belts. You know what I'm saying? Hashtag give me my belt. That's going to be on your ass now. So, it's just going to be interesting to see, the future for these guys. Is Jermell going to now dominate 154? Is Jermell going to dominate 160? I think Jermell's definitely going to dominate 160. Jermell, is he going to dominate 154? Only time will tell, because there's still some top guys there at 154 for him to battle with. At 160, I see Jermell beating everybody, though. I see him beating Danny Jacobs. I see him beating Peter Quillen. I see him beating Billy Joe Saunders. I see him beating Gennady Golovkin. I see Jermell Charlo beating all those guys. So I think he's going to be the man. He's going to be the man at the end of the day when all the smoke is cleared at 160, Jermell Charlo. So we'll see, man. We'll see. We'll just pay attention, you know what I mean? But all in all, like I said, a good fight, good night. Let me know your thoughts. Hit it up in the comment section below. You can also hit me up on Facebook, box -_ die. You can hit me up on Twitter, box X or X die. But until next time, it's your boy D Dynamite signing out. Holla at your motherfucking boy.